Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel about fireproof dwellings against wildfires. Remember, our main objective is to save lives. So today we're going to do a short presentation about the type of protection you can actually perform on your dwelling to prevent it to be burned by a wildfire. Okay? So there are basically three types of protection of dwellings against wildland fires. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about these three types. The first type is the active protection of the dwelling. In general, not fireproof. For example, an active protection of dwelling is the firefighters fighting the fire, controlling it to spread. Okay, it's a basic one, and it's seen on the news, and it's provided by very courageous people. Second active protection is based on responsibility of the dwelling's owner for cleaning his roof, his vegetation, his garden, his bushes that surround his own dwelling. Okay, some countries refer to as home ignition zone. I can tell you, in Portugal, the way we define this zone is one of the most advanced in Europe. In our Institute for Forests, our Portuguese Institute for Forests have done an outstanding work by defining this home ignition zone in 2017. Then you have passive protection for dwellings, which our main focus in this channel. It's basically construction guidelines and also rehabilitation of dwellings against the direct and indirect action of a wildfire. Okay. For example, using paint that somehow protects the wood. It's not 100% fireproof, but ignites later. Using good protecting system windows made of aluminium or other unflammable material. You can have a fireproof door or a fireproof door, whatever you need in your entrance instead of a classic wood door. And then there are also some choices we can perform for the roof and the walls that mostly involve layers of general unflammable materials. There's also reactive protection against wildfires. They are known. Not in, for example, Portugal, these measures are not very known, but for example, in the United States and Canada, they use some of these protections. For example, the system on the left, this system that you have here, it's what we consider like a sheet that covers the house once the wildfire approaches. In my opinion, it doesn't seem very, or should I say, efficient. But I've never seen it. I've seen videos of it, and I believe it performs good work. The second approach is the firefighters use a fire retardant gel, which is a gel that is not 100% fireproof, but it insulates the house temporarily for 6 to 36 hours. Okay. This is also a very good approach. It can be made by the firefighters, or if you're a dwelling owner and you got a canteen with a hose, you're able to cover your house with this fire retardant gel, and your house will resist the passage of a wildfire. So a reactive protection for dwellings in this research project is also going to be proposed. For example, imagine you have like a terrace in your dwelling, a terrace that you can have like some chairs, some tables when you have parties. That terrace is a danger for fire brand accumulation, and in order to prevent that the fire brand accumulation may ignite the terrace, we propose, for example, a water control system of 2 centimeters. That's an example we will explore more on this project. Okay. Advantage and disadvantage of active protection. But the active protection clearly minimizes the direct wildfire contact with the dwelling. There's no discussion about that. And therefore reduces the ignition probability of the dwelling. Okay. These actually work quite well. But if the dwelling itself it's not completely fireproof, if there's fire brand transportation and the firefighters are not near the house, then the house can still ignite. Okay, this is still a big problem because the firefighters cannot be near every house. They cannot be near every isolated village in the wildland. And so advantages and disadvantages of a passive protection system. Well, it prevents the ignition of the dwellings, either the direct contact of the fire, which is the fire in trees and bushes, or the indirect contact of a wildfire, which is the firebrand transportation. At the moment, it's the most expensive solution. We're still working on this to get more economic solutions, but in any case, the cost is below 5%, in some cases even 15% if it is an existing old house. Okay, so not that high. And the adopted solutions at the moment that we have are only standard for interior fires and are inexistent and anti-economic for wildfires. In any case, they work. Imagine they're like overkill for wildfires. Our fireproof solutions are basically overkill for wildfires. They work, they clearly work, but they are not economic. Well, advantages and disadvantages of the reactive protection. Well, clearly they're cheaper than any of the other ones. Okay. They need to be implemented by the owner of the dwellings when the wildfire is approaching. Okay, so it's still quite good protection, but the dwelling's owner must be near the dwelling or inside the dwelling to implement these protections. If your house is alone, is abandoned, you cannot apply these reactive protections. Also, the technical level of its application must be minimum to be fully understood by the casual owner. Okay, you cannot have something very high tech if someone doesn't know how to apply it. Okay, because when the wildfire is approaching, you may be a little bit nervous, and you may need to have a simple method of applying stuff. Okay, so the ones to be studied on this research project, well, will be mainly passive solutions. I'm going to be honest, passive construction guideline fireproof solutions. We will also explore some reactive solutions, some methods and elements to protect existing dwellings. Okay. Well, as I said, it was a short video. That's all for today. Hope you guys like, comment below, hit the subscribe button if you think this channel is on your needs and on your interest. And remember, our main objective on this channel is to save lives. See you on the next one.